Dreams of Darkness, When Nightmares Come Alive. Chapter 1. The Nightmare Unleashed. The evening sun cast a warm glow over Lucas Thompson's cozy living room as the group of friends gathered around, sharing their unsettling experiences. Their faces were etched with worry, their eyes filled with a mixture of curiosity and fear. The air felt heavy with anticipation as they recounted their encounters with the same haunting nightmare. Lucas, tall and strong-willed, sat at the head of the worn-out couch, his piercing blue eyes scanning the room as if searching for answers. Olivia Rodriguez, petite and kind-hearted, curled up in an armchair opposite him, her curly brown hair falling gently over her shoulders. Ethan Carter, scholarly in appearance with his glasses and short black hair, sat beside Olivia, his gaze lingering on the floor as he deep in thought. Maya Patel, with her mischievous grin and braided black hair, perched herself on the armrest of the couch, while Liam Taylor leaned against the nearby bookshelf, his striking green eyes reflecting both concern and uncertainty. Last night's nightmare felt so vivid. Lucas began with a hint of determination in his voice. I woke up drenched in sweat, my heart pounding as if I had just faced a true terror. I couldn't agree more, Olivia chimed in softly, her warm brown eyes filled with empathy. It felt so real, like I was trapped in a never-ending abyss of darkness and despair. Ethan nodded in agreement. There was something sinister about that dream. It felt like we were being pulled into a twisted realm where our worst fears materialized before our very eyes. As they spoke, the weight of their shared experience hung in the room like an unspoken truth. Each friend had faced their own personal horrors within that nightmare, creatures lurking in shadows, haunting specters whispering unsettling promises, and endless corridors leading to nowhere. Lucas leaned forward, his voice steady but laced with concern. We can't ignore this anymore. Something is happening to us, something beyond our understanding. Maya's hazel eyes sparkled mischievously as she interjected. Well then, let's solve this mystery together. We're facing an ancient evil right out of our nightmares. It's like something straight out of those supernatural books we used to read as kids. Liam crossed his arms tightly across his chest before speaking quietly but firmly. We need to stay cautious, though. We can't afford to dismiss any possibility or underestimate whatever force lurks within these dreams. Olivia glanced at Liam and smiled reassuringly. She understood his tendency to isolate himself when things got tough, but also knew that they needed each other now more than ever. Lucas rose from the couch, determination etched on his face. We'll get through this together. We have to find answers and protect each other from whatever threats lie ahead. With nods of agreement exchanged between them all, a renewed sense of camaraderie enveloped the room. They were united by an unbreakable bond forged through countless adventures and shared memories. Little did they know, this nightmare was only the beginning, a prelude to a dark journey that would test their courage and resilience beyond imagination. In this small town of Briarwood, where peaceful nights once reigned supreme, there would be no respite until they confronted this malevolent force head-on. As midnight approached and darkness encroached upon their quaint little town once again, their quest for answers had only just begun. The group of friends stepped into the dimly lit library, their footsteps echoing against the worn-out wooden floor. Dust particles danced in the air, illuminated by the faint rays of sunlight streaming through the stained glass windows. The musty smell of ancient books filled their nostrils, adding to the ominous atmosphere that surrounded them. Lucas led the way, his eyes scanning the shelves lined with countless volumes of forgotten knowledge. Olivia followed closely behind him, her fingers gently grazing the spines of old leather-bound books, as if seeking some connection to the past. Ethan trailed behind, his gaze fixed on a faded map of Briarwood pinned to a bulletin board. Maya skipped ahead, effortlessly navigating through the maze of bookshelves, her curious eyes darting from one title to another. Liam lingered near the entrance, his ears attuned to every creak and whisper within the library's silent corridors. As they perused dusty tomes and yellowed pages, their search for answers began. They discovered tales of strange occurrences that had plagued Briarwood throughout its history, unexplained disappearances, strange sightings in the night, and whispers of an ancient curse that hung like a dark cloud over the town. Olivia pulled out a weathered diary from a hidden corner of the library's archives. Its pages were filled with cryptic symbols and handwritten accounts of nightmares haunting its author's sleep. She held it in her hands with reverence, as if she could feel the despair imprinted upon its ancient pages. Ethan turned his attention to a crumbling journal left behind by a former librarian. It chronicled eerie incidents involving dreams turning into waking nightmares for those unfortunate enough to suffer their wrath. His analytical mind absorbed every detail, searching for patterns or clues that might shed light on their own predicament. Meanwhile, Lucas pored over yellowed newspaper articles that chronicled long-forgotten tragedies that occurred in Briarwood's dark past. He carefully studied each line, trying to piece together how these events may have contributed to their current nightmare situation. In this sea of information and history buried between aging pages, shadows seemed to dance along the walls, sinister specters, silently mocking their desperate attempts to unravel the truth. As they continued their research amidst the somber silence, Maya stumbled upon an old photograph tucked away within a dusty envelope. Her eyes widened as she recognized familiar faces staring back at her from decades past ancestors who had once walked these very streets and faced nightmares similar to their own. "Guys," Maya whispered excitedly, "look at this. These people. Could they be linked somehow? Could there be something in our own family histories that ties us to this curse?" Her friends gathered around, peering at the photograph with equal parts curiosity and trepidation. Speculations and theories swirled in their minds as they contemplated this newfound revelation. Could their shared nightmares be more than just an unfortunate coincidence? As time ticked by unnoticed within these hallowed walls, one thing became clear. They were not alone in this fight against darkness. Together, armed with knowledge from books long forgotten and fueled by an unyielding determination to protect each other, they would stop at nothing to uncover the secrets shrouded within Briarwood's haunted past. Little did they know that their quest for answers was only just beginning. Beneath these layers of history lay a deeper evil waiting patiently for its moment to strike again. The moon hung high in the pitch-black sky as the group of friends hurried along the deserted streets of Briarwood. The air was heavy with an eerie stillness, broken only by the sound of their rushed footsteps echoing into the night. Their hearts raced, matching the pace of their thoughts as they replayed the harrowing encounter with the terrifying creature over and over again. Fear gnawed at their insides, threatening to consume them whole, but determination pushed them forward. Lucas took the lead, his mind buzzing with adrenaline-fueled focus. His quick thinking had saved them once before, and he was determined to do it again. Olivia clung tightly to Ethan's arm, her petite frame trembling ever so slightly. She sought comfort in his presence, finding solace in his logical demeanor. Maya skipped ahead, her agile movements a stark contrast to Liam's measured steps. He stayed close behind Maya, ever vigilant and ready to act at a moment's notice. In silence, they communicated a bond forged through countless adventures together. With each step, their footsteps echoed through the empty streets like a haunting melody, a symphony of courage resonating through the darkness. As they turned a corner, a dimly lit alleyway came into view. Shadows danced on the walls like ethereal specters taunting their weary souls. It was there that fate decided to test their resolve once more. From within the shadows emerged another nightmare, brought to life a grotesque creature with long, gnarled claws and glowing red eyes that seemed to pierce through their very souls. Panic surged through their veins as they froze in terror for a split second before springing into action. Lucas shouted commands, his voice steady despite the chaos unfolding around them. "Stay together. Watch your flanks." Olivia's intuition kicked in as she recognized patterns from their previous nightmare encounters. She swiftly devised a plan and gestured for Ethan and Maya to follow her lead. Ethan's logical mind analyzed the situation instantaneously. He assessed each member's strengths and weaknesses as he coordinated their movements, ensuring they fought as one unified force. Liam's exceptional hearing picked up on even the faintest sounds amidst the chaos, every scrape of claws against concrete or guttural growl vibrating through the air. In synchronized harmony, they fought back against this monstrous creature that threatened to devour their hopes of breaking free from this living nightmare. Their movements were fluid, yet precise, a dance between life and death, played out in darkened alleyways under the watchful gaze of an indifferent moon. With each blow landed and every dodge executed flawlessly, their bonds grew stronger. They witnessed firsthand what true teamwork could achieve when faced with unimaginable horrors. As victory loomed within reach, Lucas delivered one final strike that sent the creature crashing to the ground with a deafening thud. Its body evaporated into shadowy mist, dissipating into nothingness. Breathing heavily yet triumphantly, they stood tall amongst scattered remnants of darkness warriors who refused to be consumed by fear. In that fleeting moment of calm amidst chaos, Maya flashed Liam a grateful smile. Her mischievous grin held an unspoken understanding. They had overcome another trial together and emerged stronger than ever before. There was no time for celebration or rest. Danger lurked beyond every corner in this cursed town. But as they regrouped and pressed onward into uncertain futures intertwined with nightmares turned reality, hope flickered like a tiny flame, guiding them towards light amidst encroaching darkness. And though battered by adversity and plagued by uncertainty, these friends vowed to protect one another until dreams where nightmares come alive no longer dictated their existence. Chapter 2. Haunting Shadows. The night had cast its dark veil over Briarwood as the group of friends gathered in Olivia's cozy living room. The soft glow of candlelight flickered, casting dancing shadows across their concerned faces. Lucas, his piercing blue eyes filled with determination, took a seat on the worn-out couch. He ran a hand through his messy dark hair and let out a heavy sigh. "We can't ignore what's happening to us," Lucas began, his voice steady but tinged with worry. "These nightmares are more than just figments of our imaginations. They're becoming increasingly vivid and dangerous." Olivia curled up in an armchair opposite him, her warm brown eyes searching for answers. She reached out and gently touched Lucas's hand, silently offering her support. "I've been doing some research," Ethan spoke up from beside Olivia. His scholarly demeanor shone through as he adjusted his glasses and leaned forward. "These nightmares seem connected to something deeper, something that has plagued this town for centuries." Maya perched herself on the armrest of the couch, her hazel eyes gleaming mischievously. "Well then, let's go digging into Briarwood's history. There must be clues or secrets buried within these old streets that can help us understand what we're up against." Liam, his usually quiet presence looming near the bookshelf, nodded in agreement. He cleared his throat softly before voicing his concerns. "But how do we know who to trust? What if certain people in town have something to hide?" Lucas nodded solemnly, acknowledging Liam's valid point. Trust was hard to come by when the boundaries between dreams and reality blurred so drastically. Olivia squeezed Lucas's hand tighter, an unspoken vow passing between them to protect each other at all costs. "We have each other," she said softly, her voice filled with unwavering determination. "No matter what happens, we'll face these nightmares together." Ethan looked around at his friends and smiled reassuringly. "She's right. Our bond is strong, and together we can unravel this mystery one step at a time." With renewed resolve shining in their eyes, the friends knew they couldn't afford to stay idle any longer. The clock ticked relentlessly as they made plans to delve into Briarwood's hidden past, a past intertwined with their own destinies. In this moment of unity and shared purpose, their friendship became their greatest strength, an unbreakable force capable of conquering even the darkest nightmares. Little did they know that this journey would uncover more than they bargained for, secrets that would test their courage and resilience like never before. As midnight approached once again, darkness settled over Briarwood like a heavy shroud, waiting patiently for the friends to step into the haunting shadows of their shared nightmare realm. The group of friends stood in front of the imposing, decaying asylum. Its once grand facade now lay in ruin, its walls marked with the scars of time. A chilling breeze whispered through the corridors, carrying echoes of tormented souls whose spirits still lingered within its forsaken halls. Maya took a step forward, curiosity shining in her hazel eyes. She ran her fingers along the peeling paint on the doorframe, feeling a sense of anticipation tingling through her veins. "There have always been rumors about this place," she said with a mischievous grin. "Legends of dark experiments and tortured souls." Olivia shivered slightly, wrapping her arms around herself, as if trying to protect her soul from the unseen horrors that seemed to seep from the building's very foundation. She looked at Lucas, her voice trembling ever so slightly. "Are you sure about this? We don't know what we might find inside." Lucas met Olivia's gaze, his eyes filled with determination. He placed a hand gently on her shoulder, his touch both reassuring and firm. "We can't let fear hold us back. The answers we seek may lie within these walls, answers that could free us from this living nightmare." With those words hanging in the air like a haunting melody, Ethan reached for the rusty doorknob and pushed open the heavy wooden door. It creaked in protest, as though warning them to turn back before it was too late. As they stepped into the darkness within, their flashlights pierced through the gloom, revealing rooms filled with decaying furniture and faded memories. The air was thick with a musty scent, the lingering remnants of forgotten lives. Liam's footsteps were barely audible as he navigated through the abandoned hallways, his senses heightened by an acute awareness of every sound and movement around him. His ears picked up on whispers carried by the wind, fragments of long-forgotten conversations echoing eerily through time. Ethan noticed intricate symbols etched into the walls, cryptic messages left behind by those who had come before them. With each stroke of his finger tracing their lines, he felt a connection to something greater than himself, something ancient and otherworldly. Olivia's intuition tugged at her, a nagging feeling that they were being watched from unseen eyes lurking within the shadows. She clung tightly to Maya's hand for comfort, feeling an unspoken trust between them forged through years of shared adventures. As they ventured deeper into the bowels of the asylum, a faint glow caught Lucas's attention. Following it instinctively, he discovered an underground chamber hidden away from prying eyes, its entrance concealed behind layers of dust and decay. The room revealed itself, slowly illuminated by sparse rays, filtering through cracks in damaged ceiling tiles above. In its center stood a solitary pedestal adorned with an ancient artifact glimmering dully under muted light. Curiosity sparked within Lucas as he approached, cautiously drawn towards this mysterious relic like a moth to a flame. As his fingertips grazed its cool surface, a surge of energy coursed through him, visions flickering briefly across his mind like fragmented memories from another lifetime. In that fleeting moment, Lucas understood that this relic held great power that could help them overcome their nightmares or tip the scales further towards darkness. Silence hung heavily in the air as each friend absorbed this revelation in their own way, their minds racing with questions yet to be answered and possibilities yet to be explored. For now, all they could do was stand there amidst crumbling walls and fading hopes, contemplating how far they were willing to go to break free from this endless cycle of terror. And as they prepared to take their next steps forward into uncertainty, little did they know that darker forces awaited them, forces eager to test their resolve and push them further into Briarwood's nightmarish embrace. The underground chamber thrummed with an eerie energy as the friends cautiously stepped inside. The air was heavy with anticipation, their senses heightened by the weight of what they were about to face. Lucas's hand gripped his weapon tightly, ready to defend his friends against whatever awaited them in the darkness. As their flashlight beams pierced through the gloom, A faint glow emanated from a solitary pedestal in the center of the room. The artifact it cradled glimmered softly under muted light, casting flickering shadows on the cavernous walls. A hushed silence settled over the group as they gathered around, their eyes drawn magnetically to this ancient relic. It seemed to pulse with an otherworldly power, beckoning them closer yet warning them of its potential dangers. Approaching cautiously, Ethan extended a trembling hand toward the artifact. His scholarly curiosity battled against a deep-rooted fear that tugged at his rational mind. But he couldn't resist the pull and insatiable desire to understand and unravel the mysteries veiled within this realm of nightmares. With bated breath, he reached out and gently brushed his fingers against the cool surface. In that instant, visions flashed across his mind like fragments of forgotten dreams. He saw glimpses of haunting landscapes and echoing screams, each image more unsettling than the last. Olivia's empathetic nature kicked in as she sensed Ethan's unease. She placed a comforting hand on his shoulder, silently assuring him that they were in this together. Her warmth helped ground him amidst the maddening whirlwind of emotions threatening to overwhelm him. Maya watched in awe as Ethan made contact with the relic. Her hazel eyes widened as if she had discovered an elusive piece of a complex puzzle. She found herself drawn into its mesmerizing aura, a swirling vortex of possibility and peril all at once. Meanwhile, Liam stood slightly apart from the group, ever vigilant and watchful. His eyes scanned their surroundings for any sign of danger, while his ears strained against every sound echoing within these ancient chambers. His intuition warned him that they were walking on thin ice. One wrong move could push them further into darkness. Lucas surveyed his friends with concern etched across his features. He knew that their journey to understand these nightmares had brought them to this pivotal moment, where one wrong decision could have dire consequences. The weight of responsibility bore heavily upon him as he contemplated their next move. Time eluded them as minutes stretched into eternity. Within this subterranean chamber, each second filled with uncertainty and possibility alike. In that moment, suspended between past and present, hope and fear collided like opposing forces struggling for dominance. And so they stood there, a united front against unseen horrors, poised on the precipice of discovery or doom. Little did they know that beyond this room lay even greater challenges, trials designed to test their resolve and question everything they thought they knew about themselves and their connection to Briarwood's cursed history. But for now, all they could do was take another step forward into darkness, trusting not only in each other, but also in their own resilience to navigate through this nightmarish labyrinth together. Chapter 3: Confronting Fears. In Olivia's dimly lit living room, the group of friends huddled together, their faces reflecting a mixture of determination and anxiety. The air felt heavy with anticipation as they prepared to confront their deepest fears head-on. Lucas took the lead, his gaze steady and unwavering. "We need to face our nightmares," he said firmly. "Only by confronting them can we regain control over this dreamscape." Olivia nodded in agreement, her curly brown hair framing her determined expression. "We can't let fear paralyze us," she added softly. "We have each other for support and strength." Ethan adjusted his glasses, his scholarly demeanor giving way to vulnerability. "I've always been afraid of losing control," he admitted, his voice tinged with unease. "But I know that facing my fears is the only way to overcome them." Maya leaned forward, her hazel eyes shining with a mischievous spark. "I've never been one to back down from a challenge," she said with a grin. "Let's show these nightmares what we're made of." Dr. Vanessa Collins sat quietly among them, radiating calm and wisdom. Her presence was reassuring, as if silently encouraging them to delve deeper into their subconscious minds. As the conversation unfolded, each friend shared their deepest nightmares and insecurities. They provided comfort and words of encouragement to one another, creating an unbreakable bond forged through shared vulnerabilities. Outside Olivia's window, the moon cast its silvery glow upon their determined faces. The room seemed to pulsate with energy, an undercurrent of strength that emanated from within. With newfound resolve burning in their hearts, they realized that it was time to take action, to step out of the safety of their dreams and confront the horrors that awaited them. Dr. Collins cleared her throat softly, her compassionate gaze washing over them all. "Confront your fears one step at a time," she advised gently. "Remember that you hold the power within yourselves to vanquish these nightmarish manifestations." The friends exchanged glances filled with determination before rising from their seats as one cohesive unit. Their purpose was clear: they would traverse the treacherous terrain of their own fears, supporting each other every step of the way. Little did they know that within these individual journeys lay not only personal growth, but also revelations about Briarwood's dark history, secrets yet to be unveiled. As they stood on the brink of this harrowing adventure, suspense hung in the air like a tightly wound spring ready to release its energy. And so, armed with courage and unity, they took their first steps towards conquering their own inner demons, unknowingly embarking on a path that would forever change their perceptions of fear itself. The group ventured into the heart of an ancient forest, its towering trees reaching towards the darkened sky like skeletal fingers. Leaves rustled in a haunting melody as a chilling breeze whispered through the dense undergrowth. Shadows danced along the forest floor, casting an eerie glow on the faces of Lucas, Olivia, Ethan, Maya, and Liam. Lucas took a cautious step forward, his senses heightened by the unknown dangers that lurked within this mystical realm. His heart pounded against his chest as he glanced back at his friends, their expressions mirroring a mixture of determination and trepidation. Olivia's curly brown hair swayed gently in the wind as she gripped Lucas's hand tightly, providing a comforting presence amidst the encroaching darkness. Her warm brown eyes scanned their surroundings, searching for any sign of danger. Ethan adjusted his glasses with trembling hands, his scholarly demeanor momentarily fading as fear coursed through his veins. He glanced at Lucas for reassurance before focusing on the path ahead, a path that would lead them to confront their deepest fears head-on. Maya bounded ahead with her usual enthusiasm, her braided black hair bouncing with each determined step. She radiated confidence, even as uncertainty gnawed at her core. Her hazel eyes sparkled with mischief and resilience, traits that fueled her unwavering spirit. Liam hung back slightly, his lean frame blending effortlessly among the shadows. His piercing green eyes surveyed their surroundings with acute awareness, listening for any hint of danger or unseen threats. He kept his thoughts to himself, silently observing and analyzing every flicker of movement around them. As they pressed deeper into the forest's eerie depths, anxiety weighed heavily on their chests. Each hesitant footstep carried both anticipation and fear of what they were about to face. The air crackled with tension, an electric energy that mirrored their own internal struggles. Then, from behind a gnarled tree trunk emerged a haunting manifestation. A monstrous creature embodying Lucas's deepest fear, the paralyzing feeling of being trapped and powerless. Lucas felt a surge of adrenaline course through his veins as he locked eyes with the creature. In that moment, time seemed to stand still, his mind racing to find a strategy to overcome this embodiment of terror. Without hesitation, Olivia stepped forward, her voice filled with unwavering resolve. "We won't let you control us," she declared firmly. "Together, we are stronger than our fears." The creature loomed closer, its grotesque form contorting in animated fury. Its twisted limbs reached out hungrily, aiming to ensnare Lucas within its nightmarish grasp. Liam sprang into action before anyone could react, utilizing his exceptional hearing and stealthy movements to distract the creature in a flurry of swift strikes and tactical maneuvers. His actions allowed Lucas to maneuver away from immediate danger, while buying precious seconds for Ethan and Maya to join the fray. Ethan's logical reasoning kicked into high gear as he quickly assessed the creature's weaknesses. Utilizing his knowledge of local legends and myths surrounding nightmares, he devised an effective plan to counteract its malevolent powers. With strategic precision and calculated moves, Ethan's contributions proved essential in restraining the creature's ability to manipulate their environment. Meanwhile, Maya tapped into her natural agility and athletic prowess, darting in and out between attacks with lightning-fast reflexes. Her movements were fluid yet deliberate as she struck blows against their adversary, her daring nature inspiring courage within her friends. Through each united effort, each coordinated strike against this embodiment of terror, they began to reclaim control over their own fears incrementally but significantly. In this surreal battle between dreams and reality, every action held stakes higher than life itself, tests of resilience, pushing them further towards conquering their nightmares one step at a time. The scene continued to unfold with intensity and precision, a true test of character and fortitude amidst an otherworldly landscape where nightmares came alive. Yet among these moments of chaos and peril lay glimpses of hope, small victories that ignited a glimmer of light within each friend's heart. Together they persisted, stepping ever closer towards breaking free from Briarwood's suffocating curse. Unbeknownst to them, these pivotal moments marked only the beginning, mere fragments of an arduous journey that would challenge their very existence. But they remained steadfast, bound together by friendship, and propelled by an unyielding determination to conquer not only their own nightmares, but also the ancient evil lurking deep within Briarwood itself. And so they fought on, relentless warriors, navigating this treacherous battlefield wrought from dreams turned sinister, their resilience shining through every move they made as they confronted fears once thought insurmountable. The abandoned factory stood before them like a ghostly relic, its skeletal structure casting long shadows across the desolate landscape. Broken windows stared back at the group, reflecting their determination mixed with trepidation. As they stepped through the rusted metal doorway, the eerie silence of the place enveloped them. Lucas tightened his grip on his weapon, his knuckles turning white as his heart pounded in his chest. He scanned the dimly lit room, his piercing blue eyes darting from shadow to shadow. His instincts screamed for caution, urging him to remain vigilant in this dangerous dance between dreams and reality. Olivia's warm brown eyes flickered with both fear and resolve as she reached out to take Lucas's hand. Their fingers interlaced, offering reassurance amidst the impending darkness that loomed over them. She could feel his steady pulse beneath her touch, reminding her that they were in this together, facing their fears side by side. Ethan adjusted his glasses nervously, his scholarly demeanor masking an undercurrent of unease. He ran a hand through his short black hair, trying to ground himself amidst this existential chaos. With each passing moment, he reminded himself of their shared purpose to conquer their nightmares and banish the ancient evil that haunted not only their dreams but also their lives. Maya's mischievous grin faded slightly as she observed the broken machinery surrounding them. Her agile frame moved with caution, her senses heightened by the spectral atmosphere that hung heavy in the air. She longed to break free from this twisted nightmare realm and embrace true freedom once again. Liam leaned against a crumbling wall, blending seamlessly into the dilapidated surroundings. His green eyes scanned every corner of the room, searching for any sign of danger or hidden traps set by whatever malevolent force awaited them. He kept his thoughts to himself, allowing only fleeting glimpses of concern to cross his stoic expression. Suddenly, a shiver ran down Olivia's spine as an otherworldly presence filled the room. A cold breeze swept through their midst, carrying whispers of forgotten souls long trapped within these decaying walls. The hairs on her arms stood on end as she turned toward her friends, a silent acknowledgement that they were not alone in this battle. As anticipation crackled through the air, a monstrous creature materialized before them, an amalgamation of all their darkest fears combined into one terrifying form. Its grotesque form twisted and writhed with every step it took closer to Lucas. Time seemed to slow as Ethan's analytical mind kicked into action. With a calm determination in his eyes, he analyzed their opponent's movements and vulnerabilities like pieces on a chessboard, plotting strategies that would give them an advantage against this nightmarish apparition. Maya's athletic frame sprung into action without hesitation. Her reflexes were lightning fast as she launched herself at the creature with acrobatic precision, striking blows with calculated strength and agility. Each movement was driven by her unwavering spirit and determination to protect her friends at all costs. Lucas locked eyes with the abomination before him, its malevolence mirrored in its twisted features. Drawing upon his physical strength and strategic planning skills, honed over countless battles waged both in dreams and reality, he sprang into motion alongside Maya, their combined efforts aiming to weaken and overpower their nemesis. Olivia's empathetic nature surged forth as she tapped into her connection with others' fears. She focused her energy on projecting compassion and understanding toward her friends' acts of emotional support that granted them renewed resilience and determination in this life or death struggle. With each coordinated strike and tactical maneuver against this monstrous embodiment of terror, they chipped away at its power inch by inch, pushing themselves beyond limits they never knew existed within their own minds. The battle raged unabated as sweat poured down their brows and adrenaline coursed through their veins. They fought not only for survival, but also for hope that they could break free from Briarwood's suffocating grasp and reclaim their lives from the clutches of darkness. Intricate dance moves intertwined with ferocious combat strikes filled the factory's eerie silence. A symphony of resilience played out under flickering lights, determined spirits dancing amongst despair. They faced moments of doubt along this chaotic path, doubts born from battered bodies and wavering faith. But those doubts were swiftly replaced by unwavering resolve fueled by friendship forged through shared adversity. And so they pressed forward, united in purpose despite physical exhaustion, setting in like a relentless tide pulling at their strength. Step by arduous step, they regained control over their own fears, wresting power away from Briarwood's malevolent curse, gripping tighter than ever before. But even as victory seemed within reach, another challenge loomed just beyond sight, more trials awaiting their steadfast hearts as they continued down this treacherous road paved with nightmares turned tangible. In this single vivid moment captured within an abandoned factory consumed by darkness, unfolding around courageous souls who refused to surrender hope, everything shifted yet stayed resolutely unchanged, a microcosm reflecting both perseverance and fragility in equal measure. The echoes of battle still reverberated within these crumbling walls, an eternal testament to resilience forged amidst unimaginable horror, as our heroes caught brief respite before plunging further into Briarwood's unforgiving nightmare realm. Chapter 4. Decoding Clues. In Dr. Vanessa Collins' dimly lit office, the air buzzed with a sense of anticipation. The group of friends perched on worn leather armchairs, engrossed in animated conversation. Stacks of old books and research materials surrounded them, casting elongated shadows across the room. They were on the cusp of unraveling the mysteries that bound Briarwood's cursed past to their own terrifying nightmares. Lucas leaned forward, his gaze fixed intently on the pages of a weathered book. He traced his finger along faded text, his brows furrowed in concentration. "I think there's a hidden message within these symbols," he said, his voice measured and analytical. Olivia nodded in agreement, her warm brown eyes alight with curiosity. "Yes, it seems like each symbol represents a different aspect of our collective fears," she added thoughtfully. "It's as if this curse is feeding off our vulnerabilities." Ethan adjusted his glasses, flipping through notes scribbled hastily in his notebook. "If we can understand the psychological implications behind these symbols, we may be able to decipher their true meaning," he mused, his scholarly demeanor unwavering. Maya fidgeted with a loose thread on her shirt, her hazel eyes scanning the room in search of any additional clues. She couldn't shake the feeling that time was ticking away, that they needed to decode these symbols before darkness consumed them all. Dr. Collins observed the group with a compassionate smile, her presence anchoring them amidst uncertainty. She interjected gently, offering insight into dream analysis and psychology, guiding their interpretations toward deeper understanding. As they shared their theories and insights, an atmosphere of collaboration filled the room. Their conversation ebbed and flowed like a symphony, each note building upon the last, to create a harmonious cacophony of ideas and observations. The hours flew by unnoticed as they immersed themselves in this intellectual pursuit. Their determination remained unshakable despite the weight of exhaustion tugging at their eyelids. Finally, as moonlight streamed through dusty windows and cast ethereal shadows upon worn floorboards, Lucas had a breakthrough. He held up a piece of parchment covered in meticulously drawn symbols and intricate map, formed by their collective knowledge and intuition. "I believe this is it," Lucas proclaimed softly but confidently, his voice cutting through the air like a whisper against silence. Each symbol had been meticulously deciphered, revealing fragments of forgotten wisdom that would guide them further on their treacherous journey. Their hearts leapt with excitement and anticipation as realization dawned upon them. They were closer than ever to unveiling Briarwood's dark secrets and unlocking the path towards salvation. But little did they know that beyond this moment lay even greater challenges, tests that would push not only their intellect, but also their courage to unprecedented limits. With renewed determination burning in their eyes, they rose from their seats, ready to venture forth into the depths of Briarwood's cursed history once again. Their journey had only just begun, each step bringing them closer to breaking free from the clutches of darkness that threatened to consume them entirely. And so they followed Lucas' lead, united in purpose and armed with newfound knowledge, stepping into an uncertain future where every revelation carried both hope and danger in equal measure. The group embarked on a journey to the Briarwood Historical Archives, their steps echoing softly in the dimly lit room. Rows of dusty shelves loomed like sentinels, housing a treasure trove of forgotten knowledge within their weathered pages. Ethan's fingers glided along the spines of yellowed manuscripts, his glasses perched precariously on his nose. He pulled out an ancient book, its leather cover worn and faded. As he blew away layers of dust, the musty scent of history filled the air. Olivia stood nearby, her eyes scanning faded photographs that offered glimpses into a bygone era. She noticed a sepia-toned image depicting a group of townsfolk huddled together, expressions veiled in fear and uncertainty. It was a snapshot frozen in time, a haunting reminder of the nightmares that lingered throughout generations. Lucas turned his attention to a stack of tattered journals, their pages brittle with age. His discerning gaze combed through cramped handwriting, searching for clues hidden amidst cryptic passages. Each word held within it fragments of forgotten whispers from Briarwood's past. Maya wandered toward a corner shelf, her fingertips grazing frayed edges and cracked spines. Her hazel eyes caught sight of a small compartment tucked away behind volumes of forgotten lore. With careful curiosity, she pried open the secret hiding place and found herself face to face with a diary, its delicate pages filled with spine-chilling accounts that mirrored their own harrowing experiences. As they delved deeper into this labyrinth of forgotten knowledge, time seemed to lose its hold on them. They were immersed in stories and records that whispered tales of tragedy and mysterious occurrences tied to Briarwood's dark history. With each flicker of insight revealed by these old texts and photographs, their understanding grew, connecting fragmented pieces together like threads weaving a tapestry of despair. These relics provided not only valuable information, but also validation that what they experienced was not imagined, that the nightmares were indeed part of something much larger than themselves. And all the while, as they absorbed fragments of history written by long-forgotten hands, they couldn't help but feel a sense of familiarity, as if echoes from the past resonated within their very souls. But little did they know that even amidst these revelations lay more questions than answers, layers upon layers, waiting to be peeled back with patience and determination. As they closed in on some semblance of truth buried beneath layers of time itself, anticipation mingled with trepidation, eager hearts yearning for resolution, yet wary of what awaited them beyond these dusty pages. And so they pressed forward, united by purpose and fortified by newfound knowledge retrieved from Briarwood's historical archives. Each step carried them closer to uncovering secrets long concealed within shadows. Their journey had only just begun, the weight of their discoveries resting heavily upon their shoulders as they prepared for the next chapter in this perilous quest for redemption against an ancient curse that threatened not only themselves, but also all who called Briarwood home. They bid farewell to the archive's silent halls, leaving behind traces of their presence amongst forgotten tales frozen in ink and faded photographs. Armed with fragments pieced together from Briarwood's haunted past, they embarked once more onto unfamiliar paths, driven by an insatiable thirst for truth amidst darkness that refused to be extinguished. In this dance between light and shadow, where history intertwined with nightmare-tinged realities, Lucas, Olivia, Ethan, Maya, Liam, Isabella Martinez pressed onward towards destiny's elusive embrace. The group stood outside the decrepit chapel, its towering spires stretching towards the darkened sky like skeletal fingers. The air was heavy with an anticipatory silence as they gazed upon the dilapidated structure looming before them, a haunting symbol of Briarwood's cursed past. Lucas adjusted his grip on his weapon, his muscles tense and ready for action. He glanced at Olivia, her warm brown eyes reflecting determination mixed with unease. They exchanged a silent understanding, their shared purpose driving them forward into the unknown. Ethan adjusted his glasses one final time, his scholarly demeanor concealing any trace of apprehension. His gaze swept over the ancient carvings etched into the chapel's weathered facade, symbols that seemed to pulsate with hidden meaning. Maya let out a breath she didn't realize she had been holding, her hazel eyes flickering with a mix of excitement and trepidation. She reached out to grab Liam's hand, a small gesture of reassurance amidst the encroaching darkness. As they stepped through the chapel's creaking doors, a hushed whisper filled the air, as if secrets long kept were being awakened by their presence. The musty scent of age and decay mingled with an ethereal energy that sent shivers down their spines. Inside, shadows danced along the cracked walls, cast by faint rays of moonlight filtering through stained glass windows. Dust particles floated in the still air, caught within a timeless embrace. They moved cautiously through the nave, their footsteps reverberating softly in this sacred space that had fallen into disrepair. A sense of reverence hung heavy around them as they approached an intricately designed altar, its surface marred by years of neglect. Olivia reached out to touch one of the ornate stone carvings adorning the altar, her fingertips brushing against weathered grooves and chips. It felt both smooth and jagged beneath her touch, a metaphorical representation of Briarwood itself, filled with beauty tainted by darkness. Lucas approached a crumbling wooden pew nearby, running his hand along its worn surface. Years of forgotten prayers and whispered pleas seemed to echo within its decaying fibers. It was a symbol of faith broken, but not extinguished, a testament to resilience even in the face of overwhelming despair. Ethan knelt down beside an abandoned prayer book left open on a tattered cushion. Its yellowed pages fluttered gently in an unseen breeze, remnants of forgotten hopes and unanswered prayers whispered between its delicate folds. He couldn't help but wonder how many souls had sought solace within these very walls only to find torment instead. As they continued deeper into the chapel, time seemed to warp and distort around them, minutes blending into hours, as they uncovered cryptic inscriptions etched into hidden alcoves and secret passages concealed behind crumbling stones. In one dimly lit chamber, they discovered a mural depicting ancient rituals intertwined with somber faces etched in anguish. Its faded colors revealed fragments of forbidden knowledge that had been deliberately wiped from memory, yet somehow lingered within their dreams. Through each twist and turn along this labyrinthine path, they could feel their connection strengthening, their shared purpose transcending mere words or gestures. In this forsaken place, bonds forged through adversity grew unyielding, woven tightly together like strands of unbreakable thread. And so they pressed onward, navigating treacherous terrain while deciphering cryptic symbols scattered throughout this mysterious chapel, a labyrinth built not only from stone, but also from layers of forgotten secrets waiting to be unraveled. But little did they know that what awaited them was far more than symbolic challenges or puzzles crafted by human hands. It was an otherworldly entity guarding vital information necessary for breaking free from Briarwood's suffocating grasp. As they reached the heart of this sacred space, hidden behind a concealed doorway adorned with faded depictions of celestial beings locked in eternal struggle, anticipation surged within their hearts like an approaching storm ready to unleash its fury upon unsuspecting souls. And so, armed with courage tempered by uncertainty, they stood united against the unknown, poised on the precipice between salvation and damnation, ready to confront whatever lay beyond this threshold and face yet another unfathomable terror lurking within Briarwood's darkest corners. Chapter 5. Confronting the Darkness. The group of friends stood at the mouth of the ancient cave, their hearts pounding with a mix of anticipation and trepidation. The air was thick with unease as they peered into the abyss, unable to discern what lay hidden within its depths. Their chosen weapons, glinting in the dim light, served as both symbols of protection and sources of strength. Lucas took a deep breath, his hand tightly gripping his sword. He glanced at Olivia, who met his gaze with a nod of reassurance. Ethan adjusted his glasses, a focused determination etched across his face. Maya fidgeted with the strap of her backpack, anxious to confront the nightmare that had haunted them for far too long. Liam stood silently beside Isabella, their eyes filled with resolve. With synchronized steps, they ventured into the darkness, one foot cautiously placed in front of the other. Each step echoed ominously against the cavern walls, a reminder of their courage being put to test. As they advanced further into the cave's labyrinthine passages, whispers seemed to reverberate through the air, disembodied voices taunting their resolve. Shadows flickered and danced along the walls, distorting reality and playing tricks on their senses. Suddenly, the ground beneath them gave way, creaking and groaning like an ancient beast awakening from slumber. They found themselves hurtling downward into a seemingly endless pit, trapped within a web of traps designed to deter any who dared challenge this malevolent force. Adrenaline surged through their veins as they reacted instinctively to evade each trap, swinging from ropes suspended above lethal spikes or leaping over collapsing platforms with grace and precision. Their progress was slow but deliberate, every movement calculated to ensure survival in this harrowing game of cat and mouse. A single misstep could mean disaster in this treacherous underground maze. As they pressed on, they encountered illusions that blurred the line between reality and nightmare. Phantasmal creatures materialized before their eyes, twisting and contorting in grotesque displays of torment. But each member of the group held firm to their resolve, reminding themselves that these were mere illusions conjured from their darkest fears. Time seemed to warp within the confines of this subterranean realm, minutes stretching into hours as they navigated through winding tunnels and perilous precipices. But despite exhaustion tugging at their weary bodies, they refused to yield. Finally, at the heart of the cave's labyrinthine passages, they stood before a colossal stone door adorned with intricate carvings. It loomed before them like an impenetrable barrier, a gateway to their final confrontation. Lucas glanced at his friends, each face etched with sweat and determination mirrored his own emotions. Together, they pushed against the heavy door with all their might, grunts escaping lips straining under exertion, until it finally gave way with a resounding groan. Beyond the door awaited an otherworldly sight, a chamber pulsating with an ethereal glow, emanating from an enigmatic shrine positioned at its very center. The air crackled with energy, as though holding its breath in anticipation of what was to come. This vivid sight sparked something deep within them, a renewed fire burning bright within each heart, igniting hope where despair once thrived. Their weapons felt lighter in their hands, as if imbued with newfound purpose and power. And so they prepared themselves mentally for this final battle, readying themselves for whatever horrors awaited them inside this chamber, resolute in ending this nightmare once and for all. As the group stepped into the chamber, a hushed silence settled over them. The flickering glow of the shrine cast ethereal light upon their faces, illuminating their expressions, a mix of determination and resilience. Each member of the group took a moment to find their center, grounding themselves amidst the palpable energy that permeated the chamber. They closed their eyes briefly, drawing strength from within as they prepared for what was to come. Ethan opened his eyes first, his focus unwavering as he scanned their surroundings. His keen senses allowed him to detect subtle shifts in the air, guiding him towards potential dangers or hidden passages. With a nod of assurance, he motioned for his friends to follow his lead. Olivia's empathetic nature kicked in as she sensed the mounting tension within her comrades. She reached out a hand, offering comfort and reassurance. Maya reciprocated with a grateful smile, finding solace in their unspoken support. Lucas tightened his grip on his sword, his mind clear and focused. He took a deep breath, drawing upon his well-honed combat skills and sharpened instincts. Standing tall, he exuded an air of unwavering determination that instilled confidence in those around him. Liam's sharp eyes darted from shadow to shadow, his keen hearing attuned to every sound echoing through the chamber. He shifted subtly closer to Isabella, ready to step in at a moment's notice should danger arise. Together, they approached the shrine with cautious yet purposeful steps. Its pulsating glow intensified as they drew nearer, an undeniable sign of their nearing confrontation with the malevolent force that had plagued their dreams. With each passing moment, their resolve grew stronger, fortified by their shared experiences and unyielding bond. They were no longer mere individuals, but a united front against darkness itself. As they reached the foot of the shrine, an invisible force seemed to ripple through the air, kinetic waves, swirling around them like an unseen storm gathering strength. The room quivered with anticipation as they stood poised at the precipice between salvation and damnation. And then it happened. A surge of blinding light erupted from deep within each one of them, an illumination born from their collective will to overcome this nightmarish curse that had tormented them relentlessly. The light radiated outward, enveloping them in its warm embrace, pushing back against the encroaching darkness with unmatched intensity. It was as if all their fears, doubts, and insecurities had been transformed into pure energy, a beacon of hope that pulsed brighter than ever before. In this transcendent moment, time seemed suspended, reality bending under the weight of their combined courage and resilience. They were no longer victims held captive by nightmares, but warriors fighting for their freedom. The aura surrounding them spread throughout the chamber, an expanding ripple effect that reverberated against walls etched with forgotten sorrows and whispered secrets. Their presence stirred something deep within Briarwood's cursed heart, awakening dormant echoes of resistance embedded within its very essence. But little did they know that this surge of light would not go unnoticed. It would draw forth one final test, a manifestation born from ancient malevolence, determined to extinguish this newfound spark, threatening its hold over Briarwood's fragile existence. As the light subsided and reality regained its firm grip on their senses, they found themselves face to face with an entity fueled by darkness, an enigmatic figure cloaked in shadows that loomed large before them. Their weapons clutched tightly in hands, now trembling with equal parts fear and determination. The group readied themselves for what would be their ultimate battle, one that would determine not only their own fate, but also that of Briarwood itself. Time stood still as the group faced the embodiment of darkness within the heart of the cavern. The entity loomed before them, its malevolent presence palpable in the air, as wisps of shadowy tendrils snaked across the chamber. With hearts pounding and determination echoing in their eyes, Lucas, Olivia, Ethan, Maya, Liam, and Isabella raised their weapons, ready to give everything they had left. They had come too far to falter now. As if sensing their combined strength and unwavering resolve, the entity lashed out with a ferocious force. Black tendrils shot towards them like lightning, each strike threatening to envelop them in everlasting darkness. Driven by a shared purpose and undying hope, they fought back with unmatched vigor. Lucas parried with his sword, deflecting the dark energy that surged towards him. Olivia summoned her inner fire, conjuring flames to ward off the encroaching shadows. Ethan channeled his intellect, using strategic maneuvers to outwit and evade. Maya tapped into her intuition and empathy, weaving a protective aura around the group. Liam unleashed raw power from within himself, unleashing blasts of energy with every swing of his staff, and Isabella called upon her resilience and grace, dancing between attacks with her daggers swift as lightning. Their movements were fueled by pure instinct, the culmination of endless nights, plagued by nightmares now transformed into unparalleled strength. Though weariness weighed heavy upon their bodies, and each strike felt like an eternity in itself, their spirits burned brighter than ever before. The air crackled with energy as their combined efforts pushed back against the suffocating darkness, each blow delivering a resounding message. They refused to be consumed by fear any longer. The chamber trembled under the intensity of their battle, a symphony of clashing weapons and retaliatory strikes echoing through the cavernous space. Their allegiance formed an unbreakable shield, deflecting every attack hurled at them by the entity hell-bent on dragging them back into eternal torment. A surge of light erupted from deep within them. It radiated outward like a beacon of hope amidst desolation, a testament to their triumph over their own nightmares. And then it happened, the decisive moment, where victory was snatched from the jaws of despair. Lucas struck true with his sword, a final stab infused with every ounce of his courage and resolve. The embodiment of darkness let out an anguished wail as its form shattered into countless fragments, vanishing into nothingness along with the curse that had plagued Briarwood for generations. Silence filled the chamber, a silence that lingered like a sigh released at long last, with only heavy breaths serving as a reminder that they had emerged victorious. Lucas' heart swelled with pride as he looked at his friends' faces, illuminated not just by victory, but also by a newfound sense of freedom. Together they had confronted their greatest fears head-on, defeating not only external forces, but also demons lurking deep within their souls. In this moment of shared triumph, they felt connected on a level transcending time and space. All bonds forged through adversity now crystallized into something unbreakable. They slowly made their way back through the winding tunnels of the cave, step after step, carrying them closer to daylight. With each stride forward, relief washed over them like warm sunlight breaking through storm clouds, and anticipation grew for new beginnings, unburdened by nightmares past. Emerging from the cave's entrance into a world forever changed, their faces bathed in golden hues, they marveled at how far they had come. Every challenge faced had molded them into warriors, fearless beings capable of facing any darkness that dared taint their dreams again. For Briarwood would forever remember these heroes, the ones who vanquished nightmares hold on this once cursed town. Their story would become legend, a tale whispered among generations to remind all who heard it that even amidst shadow's darkest daydreams can find liberation in courage's embrace. And though life would continue to present unforeseen challenges, they knew deep in their hearts that together they could face anything, guided by lessons learned from dreams of darkness transformed into stories forever etched within themselves, proof that nightmares are not eternal, but merely stepping stones leading towards light.